my story.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling now. Take a deep breath, relax.
Today's guest began her medical career when she suffered a mysterious illness just 9 months after getting silicone breast implants.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La. I'm so excited to talk to Dr. Kayte Seuss in the house. She is a preventative medicine and implant advocate, illness advocate.
My name is Dr. Kayte, and I'm a chiropractor with an outside specialty in functional and regenerative health topics. I've also spent thousands of hours studying what we call toxicokinetics, basically the study of the way the body breaks down chemicals and poisons and heavy metals. My product is called Dr. Kayte's Silicone Implant Formula. What's exciting about this formula is that it helps women with silicone devices maintain health and beauty. In 2012, I decided to undergo breast augmentation surgery. My body was not really well equipped to handle having those implants. It ended up taking me many years to unpeel the onion and figure out why I was having systemic health problems from my breast implants. I spent years working with patients and clients and meeting women who had different types of silicone devices. And what was really truly at the forefront of my mind was reaching these women who had explanted but were still struggling.
This is such an important conversation, especially with Breast Cancer Awareness Month and really treasuring our chests.
Yes.
And so many women in my life who have had implants after about 8 to 10 years have just become chronically ill.
For a long time, felt really strongly to fight wholeheartedly against those devices. As time went on, however, I did start to meet a lot of women who had silicone devices and didn't suffer from any health problems. Why do some women get sick from implants while the majority of women remain healthy? I did remove my implants. I went forward with the explant procedure using an en-bloc capsulectomy. One thing that really stood out was that I barely had any scar tissue capsule at all. I mean, my capsule tissue was like paper thin and was still extremely ill, had no idea why. I was like waking up in the morning shaking with a tremor, like hyperreflexive, and was just still really sick and thinking that it would eventually get better, thinking I just needed more time away from the explant. But I think that there was probably a part of me that was like, there's more going on here than what I thought. Like there was more to uncover. And I had started hosting a television show. Majority of the guests I was bringing on the show were all women who had explanted or plastic surgeons who wanted to talk about explant or implants. And sort of through that platform, I was just like lucked by the grace of the universe that Dr. Daniel Pompa came on the show. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Daniel Pompa.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Because I had this gold filling put in, and I took 2 amalgams out, which by the way, these silver fillings that so many people have or had, that vaporizes and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And there it turns to inorganic mercury. And there it's stuck for life unless you remove it out correctly.
So that was the first piece of the puzzle. That was puzzle piece number 1. Oh, well, I would say number 2 because implants were the first piece, but this was like the second piece. It was also a light bulb moment because I had 2 silver fillings break in my mouth 2 years before getting implants and then 1 the year before I got implants. At that time, I was still kind of piecing things together. And then I met Dr. Jack Miller, who's a naturopath in Arizona, and Dr. Jack contacted me because he said, Dr. Kayte, my mentor, Dr. Lee Cowden, is this famous holistic medical doctor from the 90s who was helping women during the CORE study, which was the study done with silicone in the 90s that ended up injuring a bunch of women because the silicone was breaking and mobilizing.
Hi, my name is Jack Miller. I'm a board-certified naturopathic doctor. Our immune system is designed to recognize things that are foreign, and unfortunately, silicone fits into that. The diversity of how women react to breast implants or breast implant injury is there's huge scope. Some women never react at all. They don't have any noticeable problem.
Once I figured out this pre-existing toxicity puzzle piece and why the pre-existing toxicity affects the collagen response and the scar tissue capsule, I started having this kind of like new calling and understanding that if I could get people to repair their collagen response prior to getting breast implants, that basically what happened to me wouldn't happen to them.
The capacity to make a good capsule of scar tissue around a silicone breast implant, whether it's saline or silicone gel is critical to not having silicone being taken off of that by macrophages, or to have silicone getting into other parts of the body.
He started explaining to me the way these low-grade toxins and chemicals basically create like a hyperhistamine pathway. Another light bulb went off, and I started to realize how someone who has chronic toxicity develops this haywire collagen response and basically becomes like a hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos patient. That piece of the puzzle is instrumental in understanding why I, for one, didn't have scar tissue capsule.
Hi, my name is Mitch Kreskin. I'm a retired tech CEO, having had a couple of good exits, and these days I invest as an angel investor in early stage companies that are trying to make the world a better place. Dr. Kayte is my niece, and she's working on some really exciting things. So the topic of women's health and breast health in particular is very, very important to me personally, and as it runs in my family. My mom got very sick when she was pregnant with me with breast cancer, and sadly passed before I was a year old. So I have a very strong connection to breast illness and recovery from it.
So I think for my family, who I think still to this day struggles to understand fully how breast implants crashed my health or were a big part of crashing my health, but just thinking of it as like a breast health topic hit close to home, literally, and then being able to move forward from a business standpoint. And so I just went looking for a lab that I knew would fit the right criteria and have the right standard for purity and testing.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shayne, owner of a laboratory called Nutribiome. It's an ISO certified facility in which we test and do research on nutritional supplements. My background, I have a dual bachelor's in chemistry and microbiology, a master's in biochemistry, a PhD in biochemistry as well, where we want to look at what we call contaminant minerals, things like lead, arsenic, mercury, cadmium, and so on, because these things are pervasive throughout the market of natural products. We have to make sure that it complies with a low level of heavy metal, because they can be dangerous, of course, to all humans. We also test Dr. Kayte's formula, and we look at all the raw materials before even making the formula, and we look at each and every ingredient, and we only use ingredients that have passed this rigorous testing for Dr. Kayte's formula, so we know that it does not contain these heavy metals, that we can look at the mineral content in that product.
Cool. Do you want to show me? I'll follow you. Okay.
So it's an ICP, and it uses some really cool physics to look at every element on the periodic table.
When I was first thinking about these topics in 2018, there was a lot of hesitancy and a lot of gaslighting and a lot of plastic surgeons saying that women were crazy and that it was in their heads and that these devices are safe. And I think that the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I think that they can be safe devices for a lot of people, but I think that there's certain characteristics that should be recognized that can prevent major problems. There's a lot of movement on the political scene in different states to kind of change the way plastic surgeons do their informed consent. What Arizona has now done is they've passed a law through BISA and through Robin Tout, who is an advocate in Arizona. The informed consent in Arizona is now much more structured to include the new legislation changes by the FDA.
More than 2 years after CBS 5 Investigates began exposing illnesses associated with breast implants, the FDA is now calling for stronger warnings.
And this is a major step forward in warning women about the risks. But there are concerns tonight that the warnings are not tough enough and don't go far enough.
We passed an informed consent law so that plastic surgeons are now mandated to give patients the information that includes a doctor-patient checklist that warns about autoimmune diseases and other systemic symptoms that are caused by breast implants. It really helped us to have the FDA, release the announcement in September 2020 with the black box warning and the list of systemic symptoms. Even a lot of the doctors didn't know what was going on until all this information came out with the FDA, the black box warning, the allergen recall. So there's a lot of information that's come forth in the last couple years that really is kind of driving it all home.
So that's now part of the language that the plastic surgeon discloses to the woman when she decides to get surgery. Before we acknowledged there was a problem, it was very hard to make solutions for that problem if no one acknowledges that it's real. And now that we're starting to know that these health concerns are real, there's a space that's available to create solutions. And I see this formula as a solution to helping women maintain health with implant. The first part of the formula is aimed at immune modulation. The second part of the formula is targeted to enhance the scar tissue response in a balanced way that will create a healthy collagen response. It supports the mast cell system in the body for integrity of mast cells. Third part of my formula is intended to support the body's detox pathways by providing active forms of important B vitamins where we see common genetic mutations, and basically keep those pathways open so that the body can process not only new chemicals but previous chemical exposures.
She's put together a group of ingredients in this product that are very unique. And her and I have discussed the uniqueness of some of these products. Because you know what you find? Typically, people will put some of these things together, but putting it all together, there's magic.
In her formula, she uses, antihistamine, quercetin, good quality zinc. So it's just a general all-around formula that, from what I've seen, and she and I talked about the formula as she was creating it, that could help with building the scar tissue encapsulation around an implant, which is what's supposed to happen after breast implant surgery.
My name is Rebeca Cuatro. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I started back in 2006 as an ER nurse. I do have breast implants, and this was way before I met Dr. K. She is working very hard to try to find a solution to help improve women's health that do have breast implant syndrome. I do like the idea of staying healthy with breast implants. We're very grateful that we take a daily supplement that can help us stay healthy.
Products that aim to deliver healthy solutions to women when it comes to all manner of women's health issues, including breast health, those are things we need more of.
This proprietary formula that I created provides gentle detox support, immune modulation, and a healthy scar tissue response.
I'm so excited about this topic.
I love that you get so excited, and it's so inspiring, and I'm just sitting here watching you going, it's so cool that you took this horrible experience in your life and you have completely turned it around. You've become a doctor, and now I really think that this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna help so many people.
Deeply grateful that you're offering up your services to people that need them so badly.
For sure.
Which is all of us.